come back here tomorrow for more energetic pop music. Right here on Cool FM. Mapapakool ka dito. Lahat ng drama, lahat ng tawanan, lahat ng iyong all-time hits. Ang tanging huntahan ng Masang Lamaw. Number 1 sa Mega Manila, nationwide pa. Broadcasting from TGON, TVH Group of Networks. Dito lang sa inyong iisang himpilan. Cool FM. You are listening to Cool FM, live from Cool Studios. This is koolNews at noon.
Good afternoon, and welcome to koolNews at noon. Police investigators are filing charges against the two persons who stole the 88-year-old painting by national artist Fernando Armorosolo from the Ofelna Museum in Silay City, Negros Occidental. Lieutenant Colonel Mark Anthony Daroca, Silay City Police Chief, said the charges would be filed within the week against the known suspect from Iloilo who had been identified and an unidentified woman before the Silay City Prosecutor's Office. The two suspects are still at large. Based on the investigation, the suspects pretended to be tourists and stole the 1936 mangrove harvester's painting by Armorosolo on July 3 by placing it in a tote bag as shown in a closed-circuit television CCTV footage provided by the Ofelna Museum. The painting was transported by commercial plane to Metro Manila. Daroca said the two suspects who stole the painting were different from those arrested by the National Bureau of Investigation for attempting to sell it on Friday, July 12 in Quezon City. The NBI recovered the Armorosolo painting in an entrapment operation after they received information that a certain Attorney Ching was selling it for 3.5 million pesos. The NBI on Friday, July 12, proceeded to the target area at Thomas Morato, Quezon City, and arrested the Ritz Shona Castro Ching and Don Necio Escobia Somelo, who delivered the painting for sale on instructions of Attorney Ching, said NBI Director Jimmy Santiago. The two will face charges of violating the anti-fencing law. Jeremy Burns, Director General of the National Museum, pegged the painting's market value at 8 million pesos to 12 million pesos. Negros Occidental Governor Eugenio Jos Lacson on Friday thanked law enforcers and all those responsible for the recovery of the painting. This serves as a reminder for us to remain vigilant in protecting and ensuring the preservation of our cultural treasures, he said. Mayor Jerry Terrenas is asking the Department of Public Works and Highways, DPWH, for detailed updates on multiple delayed projects in the city. The mayor said there was a need for completion dates, stressing concerns over the prolonged timelines of several initiatives. Terrenas pointed out that while DPWH provides reports, they often lack completion dates. DPWH Regional Director Sunny Boy Oropel, in response, said the DPWH must report all projects to local governments. However, the city government declared DPWH City District Engineer Roy Pacanan persona non grata on June 10, citing his office failure to vacate the location on city-owned property and for implementing projects without permits. City Administrator Melchor Tan wrote to Oropel on July 1st to request the status of 7 projects approved and funded but have either not been completed or not started construction despite the agency's timeline. These projects include the Madureya Market, a multi-purpose project in Barangay Concepcion, a sports complex for the Jalandoni Memorial High School, and multi-purpose buildings in the villages of Danza, Esperanza, Balantang, and Kantiningban. The Office of the Building Official of Iloilo City revealed that numerous DPWH Iloilo City District Engineering Office projects commenced and were completed without permits. OPO records showed that 7 projects initiated from 2020 onward bypassed legal processes before construction, including 1 public market and 6 multi-purpose buildings. Phase 1 of the Mandurao Public Market, completed in June 2022, had no building permit application or initial evaluation from the OPO. Phase 2 of the public market, which is around 95% as of May 2024, also lacked a building permit. The Jalandoni Memorial National High School Sports Complex multi-purpose building, which was finished in April 2024, also lacked submitted documents or technical requirements to the OPO. The multi-purpose building in Balandang Jaro, which has 3 phases, has been suspended since January 2024 due to pending building permit approval. However, the OPO stated they have no project records in their database. OPO head Mavi Gustilo said these projects lack requirements after complaints from residents and city mapping activities. Other people respond to the complaints, and we have personnel that are roaming around or mapping the city, and that is where we discovered that these projects lack documents, Gustilo said. Upon discovery, the OPO issued violation notice and work stoppages to the ICDEO. It is possible that suspended Bamba Mayor Alice Guo had already left the country using her Chinese passport. This possibility was raised on Wednesday by Senator Sherwin Gatchalian. Sa mga informasyon namin sa Bureau of Immigration ay nandito pa siya dahil i-check namin kung si Guo Huaping ay umalis na ng Pilipinas. Wala naman silang nakitang ganun na record so far, Gatchalian said over Radio 630. So kung dadaan siya sa ating mga airport at dadaan siya sa seaport, may detect siya. Pero alam naman natin na meron pang ibang paraan para makatakas, he said. It was already confirmed by the National Bureau of Investigation that Guo and Chinese passport holder Guo Huaping are one and the same. But GLN claimed last month that Guo was using Chinese and Philippine passports from 2008 to 2011. This time, however, the senator expressed belief that the suspended mayor still uses her Chinese passport. Ako kasi naniniwala ako na yung kanyang Chinese passport nandyan pa Gatchalian said. Naniniwala ako na meron silang Filipino passport na meron siyang Chinese passport. Baka lang ginamit nila yung kanyang Chinese passport para makaalis, he added. But Guo's lawyer, Stephen David, has repeatedly said the suspended mayor remains in the Philippines. Guo was ordered arrested by the Senate last July 30 for her repeated failure to attend the past hearings of the Committee on Women. She has been the subject of the panel's probe after authorities found evidence linking her to a raided Philippine offshore gaming operator in Papan Tarlac. Now for the business news, equities and the dollar were range-bound Wednesday while gold hit a fresh record as expectations for a U.S. interest rate played up against the prospect of another Donald Trump presidency that analysts say could see inflation fueling tax cuts and trips. While Wall Street saw another day of record highs owing to bets on lower borrowing costs and a more market-friendly White House, Asian dealers strode more cautiously as they also kept tabs on a key economic meeting of China's leaders in Beijing this week. Federal Reserve boss Jerome Powell ramped up hopes for a rate cut last week when he acknowledged prices were being brought to heel and told lawmakers that bank officials did not need inflation to fall to their 2% target before moving. His remarks came as other decision makers expressed optimism that the battle was being won, with Governor Adriana Kudler adding her voice on Tuesday. She said that if economic indicators remain favorable, I anticipate that it will be appropriate to begin easing monetary policy later this year. If the labor market cools too much and unemployment continues to increase and is driven by layoffs, I would see it as appropriate to cut rates sooner rather than later. However, she added that she would be inclined to hold rates higher if she was not confident inflation was coming down. While inflation is slowing, the IMF said in its World Economic Outlook update that it remains sticky and could still cause headwinds. However, some economics warned the Fed was waiting too long. Also Tuesday, data showed U.S. retail sales smashed expectations, leading observers to lift their economic growth outlook. While the underlying sales picture may not be quite as good as the headlines, the fact is the consumption component of gross domestic product looks like being decent, said National Australia Bank Ray Trill. He added that there was now a growing belief that the Fed will cut rates as many as 3 times this year. While a reduction is increasingly likely, the dollar has held its own against its peer due to a surge in Trump trade bets that he will win re-election in November after the weekend assassination attempt and questions about incumbent Joe Biden's health. The dollar is currently influenced by two conflicting forces, each driving its path in different directions, said AC-wide securities analyst Lucas Santos. The anticipation of the second presidential term for Donald Trump could lead to increased fiscal stimulus and new trips on U.S. imports. This in turn could elevate U.S. inflation, thereby boosting rates and yields. On the negative side, market expectations for Federal Reserve rate cuts have been growing due to recent weaker than expected U.S. inflation and economic activity data. Equity swung in Asian trade after the Dow posted a second straight record and the S&P 500 pushed to a fresh all-time high. Tokyo, Hong Kong, Sydney, Singapore, Wellington, Manila, and Jakarta rose while Shanghai, Seoul, and Taipei dipped. Gold pushed to a new record of $2,482.42 an ounce, pushing past its previous record of $2,450.07 reached in May, thanks to rate cut expectations. The precious metal usually rises when borrowing costs are lower, as it is more attractive as an investment and the weaker dollar makes it cheaper for traders using other currencies. And a senior U.S. central bank official said in remarks prepared for delivery Tuesday that it might be up to lower interest rates sooner rather than later if the job market cools too much. If the labor market cools too much and unemployment continues to increase and is driven by layoffs, I will see it as appropriate to cut rates sooner rather than later, said Federal Reserve Governor Adriana Kritkler. Her comments to a seminar in Washington come as the Fed moves the best time to start lowering interest rate after lifting the benchmark lending rate to its highest in over 2 decades. As inflation surged in the wake of the pandemic, the central bank swiftly hiked rates to tamp down price increases and is now seeking to bring it back to a 2% target. Kritkler said she expects it will be appropriate to begin easing monetary policy later this year if inflation continues to cool. For now, the job market has remained resilient, although hiring has eased recently and the unemployment rate has ticked up. Analysts widely expect the Fed to start lowering interest rates in September, with a bigger than expected slowdown in inflation reported last week fueling such optimism. On Monday, Fed Chair Powell said recent data boosts the central bank's confidence that inflation is coming down towards its 2% target. While policymakers caution that they will remain data dependent in making their decision. If incoming data do not provide confidence that inflation is moving sustainably toward 2%, it may be appropriate to hold rates steady for a little longer, said Goodler. The Fed's next policy meeting is in late July. Alright, it is now 30 minutes after 12 and it's 12:13 in the afternoon, and we will be right back right here on koolNews at noon.
pesos SRP.
Sa mga inasal, chicken nasal.
Welcome back. After an unexpected surge in May, Canada's annual inflation rate slowed to 2.7% year-on-year, Statistics Canada announced on Tuesday, paving the way for a new interest rate cut, according to experts. The larger than anticipated drop came after the Canadian Central Bank lowered its key rate by 25 basis points to 4.75% in early June, with a further announcement scheduled for July 24. The deceleration was largely the result of slower year-over-year growth in gasoline prices, which rose 0.4% in June, following a 5.6% increase in May, the government statistics agency said in a press release. A 1.80% drop in durable goods price also contributed to the slower growth of the Consumer Price Index in June, Statistics Canada said. Consumers did, however, pay more in supermarkets as food prices rose in June and May. Overall, groceries have jumped 21.9% in the 3 years between June 2021 and June 2024, the federal agency said. Canada's annual inflation rate reached 2.9% in May, compared with 2.7% in April, its lowest level in 3 years. This shows that the prior month's upside surprise in inflation was just a blip in a broader trend of disinflation as demand in the economy remains under pressure, paving the way for a BOC cut next week, said CIBC economist Catherine Judge. A return to tepid consumer price growth likely seals the deal for a follow-up 25 basis points rate cut from the Bank of Canada next week, said Mendez, financial analyst at Just Jardins. Along with significant declines in inflation expectations and a further normalization in corporate pricing behavior, the latest inflation data built a strong case for continuing the rate-cutting cycle without delay, Mendez added. The Bank of Canada aims to keep inflation between 1 and 3%. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. can address the problems arising from the criminal activities involving Philippine offshore gaming operators Pogo if he will just state that law should be strictly enforced. Albay 2nd District Representative Joey Calceda made this statement on Tuesday. The lawmaker gave a list of things that he wants to hear from Marcos on the President's Third State of the Nation address SONA on Monday, July 22. Among the topics he wants to hear is Marcos calling for a strict enforcement of laws relating to Pogos. It's simple. Implement the law. Follow the law. Enforce the law. If you enforce the law, naturally, you will catch violators, Calceda said. If you hear news of violations, that's because Pogo and law enforcement are catching them. Let the law work, he added. Several lawmakers are waiting for Marcos to break his silence regarding Pogos, which have been scrutinized for their links to crimes. Last July 2, Senator Risa Hontiveros and Surigao del Norte 2nd District Representative Robert A. Sparbers on several occasions said the administration must talk about Pogos. They said investigations showed that many of the Pogos were involved in human trafficking rings, kidnapping, prostitution, torture, and killings. On Sunday, Senators Aquilino Pimentel III and Sharon Cachilin urged Marcos to make a comment on Pogos. Marcos spoke on Pogo's last January 2023, but this was before the recent raids on gaming sites where Filipino and foreign workers were supposedly rescued. 371 Filipinos and 497 foreigners were rescued from an illegal Pogo in Pabad Tarlac on March 13. The Pogo was linked to suspended Bambang Mirales Guo. The Department of the Interior and Local Government (DILG) accused the local chief executive of having business interests in Beaufort Land Development Incorporated. Beaufort owns the land where the rated Pogo sits. The DILG said Beaufort, as represented by Guo, who was president of the company, purchased 8 parcels of land in Pampanga in February 2019. Guo said she divested ownership of Beaufort, but the DILG believed the amount she divested for 2.5 million pesos was grossly incongruent to her investment on Beaufort, which was approximately 8 hectares of land. Meanwhile, Calceda and Economics praised Marcos for managing the country's economy despite challenges, noting that indicators point to the situation getting better. While challenges remain, President Marcos has strong winds to talk. He said, inflation is down to 3.7% within the target range. Unemployment is at 4.1%, strong considering our high interest rates. Growth is at 5.7%, solid considering China's slowdown and generally hostile global conditions, he pointed out. President Bongbong Marcos has also secured an agreement with India to supply rice and will be able to secure even more supply as India eases export restrictions, the lawmaker noted. In other words, the president can resolutely say that things are about to get better, he concluded. And now for showbiz entertainment news. Kylie Padilla finally confirmed that she is indeed taken, saying her current relationship with a non-showbiz Bill taught her to trust herself more. The actress made the confirmation through a Fast Talk with Baron Buddha interview on Tuesday, July 16. During the Fast Talk segment, Padilla was asked to choose between single or ready to mingle, but she paused and said, taken? Asking for an elaboration on her response, show host Buddha asked, is he the beautiful young man in your Through the Lens post? The actress replied, oh yes. Padilla was apparently referring to tattoo artist Gino John Simon, who she has been rumored to be dating since late last year. Pinalaban ko din ito, bakit lahat na lang? Bakit pinapahirapan ako? She then quipped. Meron akong lesson dito sa relationship ko na yon, and it helped me to just trust myself more and not be too scared to be myself, she added. Expounding her statement, she continued, kasi na-reveal sa akin yung mga ugali ko at mga ayokong tangkapin. Kasi everyone has ego, and in some way, mas hinarap ko siya na yon, yung mga imperfections ko. Nako-connect siya sa pagiging nanay ko and me as a person, and this relationship really tinurang ako. When asked about the best part of being a guy from outside show business, Padilla spoke about the balance she now has in her life. The best thing I love about it is may balance na ako na yun from my work life to my personal life. If my work life artista ako, I'm an actress and it's a very different role. And then when I am with my partner, I am normal again. I'm just Kaylee, the Kaylee that grew up in Australia, nanay lang ako, and I do normal nanay things, she explained. I love that there is no trying to keep up to a certain image of a partner. Dito, it's separate, she stated. This relationship, I am really grateful. I am much more humble now. Padilla's last public relationship prior to this was with actor Aljar Abrednika. The former couple has 2 sons named Alas and Axel. And the buzz and excitement behind beloved Filipino actor Gabby Concepcion's homecoming is palpable. After spending years in the United States, Gabby is ready to reconnect with his roots, and he's doing it with the help of LBC. Guys, mahirap magpack, pero buti na lang may LBC. He shares in his blog. In a heartwarming video, Gabby shared his journey back to the Philippines, highlighting the ease and convenience of LPC's returning resident door-to-door service. From the initial packing stages to the final delivery, Gabby emphasized how LPC helped him take care of every detail, ensuring his belongings were handled with all their care and professionalism. Our returning resident door-to-door service is all about making the moving and shipment process as seamless and stress-free as possible. We take pride in securely shipping items from the US and making sure they arrive safely at their destination. With real-time tracking, our customers can trust that their belongings are in good hands, explains Pinky Banner Esteva, LPC's Commercial Director for Business Solutions North America. And that's it for Cool News at Noon. As always, you can send a news tip or feedback to us at tvh.philippines.news@gmail.com. And we will be back later with more headlines with Cool News at 4, 6, and 9 with Cool News Prime Time. Until then, I am Aspir. Good afternoon.